Then how you'll just watch me typing, is it?
Ma'am, you share the
Yes.
code whatever you have. I will share with the students. Why? Because I am recording the session. What is going on?
Okay.
They will utilize that. I will keep the recording session in their group.
Okay, so no problem. You can keep it.
Fine, fine, ma'am.
I
Okay.
can share also if you want later. I can
Okay,
share
ma'am.
the
Okay,
code
okay.
also.
Yeah, yeah, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. So what and do you know like basics of MATLAB? I assume that all of you know basics of MATLAB, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Yes, ma'am. We can.
you can understand, right? Because I cannot explain like the very like basic coding. I'll explain the coding with respect to genetic algorithm. Okay. Okay. So open a new M file. Okay. Then we'll start with our program. So it is a good practice. Keep these two commands always in the start, CLC and clear all. Okay. And then you input the data, comment, right? When I put a percentage, it becomes a comment. So what are the input data we need? We need the minimum value of X, which is 0, and the maximum value of X, which is 31. Okay. And then what is the number of population we have assumed? We have assumed the number of population to be 4. Okay. And how many bits we are using to represent the each of the solution? We are using 5 bits.
5 bits.
Yes, right. And then how many variables are there in our optimization problem? How many variables? You have to tell me. How many X values you are finding? Do you have X1, X2, X3, X4 like that?
No,
How many X are there?
one.
Only one. Yes. X square. Only one X. So number of variables is only one. Right? Then what is the chromosome length? So for this chromosome length depends on how many variables are there into how many bits are used for representing the each solution. So
Five.
number of variables into number of bits. Yes, that is 1 into 5. So chromosome length is 5. Okay, and then what we have to do next step is we have to choose the population. That is done. I told you it is done randomly. Okay, random initialization. Of population. Okay. So we have to initialize the population randomly, which is represented as a binary number. Okay. So for that, we use a function called as rand. So rand is a function which generates random numbers. Okay. With the how many values? 4 random values we have to generate. Okay, that is number of population. Size of population is 4 n pop, and it should generate the values based on the length of the chromosome. Okay. So this rand function will generate number between 0 and 1. Okay, 0 and 1. So means it will generate a decimal. Basically, it will generate a decimal value like 0.234, 0.561, something like that. But we don't want such decimal numbers, right? We want the population to be either 0 or 1. So what we will do, we will round it off. Round is a function which will round or which will make it round it off to the nearest integer. So since this rand function will generate only in decimal value between 0 and 1, if it generates like 0.1, this round function will round it off to 0. If it generates 0.8, it will round it off to the number 1. So anyway, we are going to end up getting values or the population with zeros and ones only. Okay. Next, okay, we have generated a random solution set or random set of population. Next, what we have to do? We have to encode. So encode means we have to find out x value. We did know 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, like that. We have to encode. So that means we have to convert the binary representation to decimal representation. Okay, 1 colon how many numbers or how many solutions we have to convert into decimal? We have to convert 4 values. So 4 is nothing but our n pop. Okay, so up to 4. Once you start a for loop, don't forget to end it, otherwise you will get an error. String is equal to, we first convert it into a string. Okay. Okay, and then convert it to a decimal value. Every time, every iteration, this p will change. 1 comma all columns, 2 comma all columns, like that, is equal to, and there is a function in MATLAB called as binary to decimal. BI2DE is the function name, which will convert a binary value to a decimal value, but provided it should be represented as a string. So that is why we converted this into a string. Okay. Okay. So now we have encoded it. What is the next step? Next step is to find the fitness value, objective function valuation. Okay. So for each of these x values, we have to find the function value, that is nothing but x square. And how many times we should do it? We should do it 4 times. We have to calculate the fitness value. We are defining one more variable called as fit, or one more array we can say, p comma all columns. What we have to evaluate is, any doubt? Already unmuted. Okay, so what is our fitness function? X square. So x here is nothing but decimal value. So decimal value of p. Means it will take, every time it will take each value of the array. So it will take decimal value of 1, means it will take the first x value. The decimal value of 2 means it will take the second decimal value, and to the power of 2. And all these values will be saved as another array which is called as fit. Okay. Okay. Next, let us save it in one array called as pop bin, which will have pop bin as the first our crossover and mutation operations. So for this, we have to repeat it so many number of times, so many iterations, right? So let us say we are repeating it 20 times. Okay. Okay. 20 times. And what will happen inside? We have to find, you remember, we have to find the sum and the average first for any, for evaluating the actual count, right? So first we will find the sum of the fitness value. Sum underscore fit is the variable name which I am giving, okay? And if you put simply sum is a function name. So it will give me the sum of what? Of an array called as fit. Then we have to find the probability. Probability is what? Each fitness value divided by the sum, right? And how do I do each fitness value? That is by placing a dot over here. So this fit is an array, right? Sum fit. It will divide the entire array. So, but I want it to divide one by one in the fitness column. So fit, if I put a dot, it will take each value. Okay. And then calculate the expected count. Expected count is equal to, initially only we will round it off. Yeah, what is that? Expected count is equal to, we have to find the average. Okay. Average here. Yeah, this is the one. Probability into, yeah, how did I get this? See, yeah, we have calculated the probability, right? So expected count is F divided by average. What is average? Average is nothing but sum divided by N. So if you substitute it here, F by sum into N. F by sum is nothing but probability. So if you simply multiply the probability with N, you will get the expected count. So expected count is equal to a round of this value. Okay. And we will take one variable for keeping a count. Okay. And initialize it to 0. Okay, we'll save it later. Okay. And then next, what is the next step? Next step is selection of parents. How do we select the parent? Based on the actual count or the expected count. Okay. So for, and how many parents we should select? We should select 4 parents. So 1 colon for 4 times, repeat it 4 times, and we will take one more variable. And how many counts we have to take? This should be actual count. Actual count 5. Before I forget, I'll end it. Then what I am doing, I have to select the parent of the first parent. So first parent is CT is 0, but J is 1. So CT plus J will give me 1. that means parent of 1, all columns. So the first parent, parent 1 is what? It is pop. What is there in pop bin? Pop bin has all the 4 population, okay, of I comma all the bits, because pop bin is represented as binary bits, right? 1 colon n underscore bits. Okay. So each parent will be assigned here, and then we will increment this with the actual count. Okay. Okay. And at the end of 4 iterations, this will run for 4 iterations. So we will get 4 parents at the end of the 4 iterations. Okay. So once the parents are selected, next step is to do the crossover, right? So in crossover, what we have to find is offspring. So let us create an empty matrix for offspring. And again, for I is equal to 1 colon n underscore. Because we have to select 2 parents, right? 2 parents for 2 offspring. So that is why we are taking n pop divided by 2. So out of 4 population, we will get only 2 sets of parents. Parent 1, parent 2, parent 1, parent 2. So parent 1 is parent the first we are selecting the first row as the parent 1, and parent 2 is the second row. And what we have to do? We have to do crossover. For crossover, just take which point we are generating a crossover point randomly. Okay. How many bits we have? We have 5 bits. So 6 minus 1. And generate a random number. Okay. And then the first child 1 will be the crossover between parent 1 and parent 2. That is first row. And how many bits we have to select? We have to select first bit to the crossover point bit. Okay. And parent 2 row and crossover point to the end. Close the bracket. Okay, similarly, child 2 is selected, but this child 2 we'll have first half of parent 2 and second half of, or second, yeah, after the crossover point, second part of the parent 1. Okay. And what are the offsprings? Offspring is equal to offspring colon child 1 colon child. First, this is empty array. Then we'll place child 1 and child 2. Okay. And this is repeated twice. So because we need 4 children, right? Then, okay, after this, so we have got 4 offspring. Then what we have to do? We have to again evaluate the fitness. So for P is equal to, we can take the same, not this one, this one. To evaluate the fitness, we have to first convert it into decimal value, but it is not the population binary, but it is the offspring. Offspring. Yeah, we'll convert it into decimal value. Okay. And then we can just display what is the decimal value we got after we generate the first offspring value. And then what we have to do? We have to, yeah, there when we did the manual calculation, we knew that the whatever the offspring was generated was well within the X range. X range was between 0 and 31. But the machine doesn't know, the software doesn't know whether it has generated a value which is within the what is that X range. So we have to write code for checking that also. Oh, okay. One second. All these have to come inside the main for loop. Okay. So here what we will do, we will create one more array, and we will assign whatever decimal value we have generated here by the offsprings, assign it to this bin, and then check if this bin will be an array of 4 elements, whether it is less than or equal to X min. So we have to check whether it is less than or equal to X min. If it is less than or equal to, what is the minimum value? 0. If it is less than 0, just make it, round it off to the minimum value itself. And else if bin of any bin, any element is greater than or equal to X max, then what we have to do? Round it off to the maximum value. Okay. Okay. And then again convert them into decimal value. Sorry, again calculate the fitness value. Square, X square. Okay. Okay, so this ends the crossover operation. What is next? Next is mutation. So what we have to do in mutation? We have to change some of the bits. Okay, some of the characteristics we have to change. So why this loop is to create the which bit have to be flipped. So let us take the bit numbers as R1. Okay. Okay, row and the bit. So row stands R1 stands for which row offspring has to undergo mutation. So again that we will generate a random number. Okay. And then which bit has to undergo mutation. Okay, it will generate a random values. So next we will check if offspring row and the bit value is equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, then what it should do? It should make it as make it as 1. Else make it as 0. And end it. Okay. So now we have mutated the offspring. So next again we have to convert this offspring value to a decimal value. Same thing, this one. This you can copy and paste it here, convert it into a decimal value. And then again, after mutating also there are chances that we may get a child which has exceeded the range. So we have to repeat this, checking for X min and X max. This we have to repeat. Okay. Okay. And then we have to evaluate the fitness. So again, fitness is this function decimal value square. Okay, and then what we will do? We will place this offspring and the fitness value in as an array. We'll put them together. Okay, just for our reference. And we will take the binary values and put them together. And then place it as an what we will do is we will arrange them, or we will sort the array from in a descending order. Okay, so that we can pick up, so that the algorithm can pick the maximum value from the top. So we will create a temporary array, and we will sort it. Sort is a function. What it will sort? It should sort the initial population, the population what we have got, and all rows and all the bits it has to take. And how it should sort? It should sort in a descending order. If you want to know the syntax of any function, you just select this. Sort is a function, I told. Then right click and you click on help on sort. You will get the syntax. And then create a null matrix so that we can put the end result into this null matrix in the last. That is. What we'll put our solutions in one place. Ith row and all the bits. And we have sorted this right here. We will take that temporary array. And then we will put our fitness values also into one place. Ith row, all column. So now we have put all the values into one place, and then we can we'll display all of them. This will display all the values. That means all 4 offsprings and the corresponding fitness value after all iterations have been done. It will display for each iteration, and we can check out the value at the end of the maximum iteration, when it has reached the maximum iteration. Okay, so so this is a program. So we have written the code for one iteration, okay, this code, and kept it inside a for loop, and the for loop repeats itself for 20 turns. Okay, number of iterations is 20. Okay, once you've done this, you can save it and run it. So the same program I have here. yeah, you can see that at the end of 31st iteration. So this will show for all iterations. At the end of 31st, at the end of 20 iterations, we got a value of 31. Means actually 20 iterations is more here because the function is simple and the range is small. You can see this is one iteration where we got 31 and 961. But we have got the same answer in the previous iterations also. Okay, so that means this means that 20 iterations is actually more for this type of objective function. Okay, so we can try but yeah, we can try reducing the number of iterations. If we put it as 2, you can see it won't reach the optimum value. At the end of 2 iterations, it has reached a value of 26 only. Okay, so 2 is too less for the algorithm to converge. So we can try putting increasing it and then checking every time whether, like, at what number of iterations it will reach the optimal solution. So you can keep on checking, changing this iteration value and run it and just check it every time. Okay. So yeah, whether anybody tried along with me? Do you have any doubts? I'll pass this code to the coordinator, sir. You can try it later on also. Actually, if you write the code like this, see this converting it into decimal value, this I have repeated at least 3 times, right? Once when I encode it, and next when I do the crossover, and then again during mutation. Okay, at least 3 times it has been repeated. So this happened because I have placed this code in the main file itself. But if I make it as a function, so function means I have to place it in a separate file and call it as a function, then this length reduces. See, now it has 100, excluding this comments, it has around 100 lines of code. But actually genetic algorithm does not require these many lines. Okay, so if I make it as a function, then the number of lines will reduce actually. This checking this minimum and maximum value, this also has been repeated twice like this. These all can be made as a function and then called upon whenever required. Okay. Okay, so that was the MATLAB